Hey traders, John Howell here. We're getting ready for another week, but what I want to share with you in this video is how a few things that we should be focusing on when we're actually looking at the markets and reading the markets and trading the markets. And I want to share with you what's happening with the Nasdaq right now, because something that's happening with the Nasdaq right now is very similar to what actually happened with Bitcoin at the start of 2022 and the after effect we need to keep an eye out for. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, see that trading course right there? Make sure you go grab access to that right now. I'm going to be closing that down. I used to charge for that trading course. So I'm going to be closing it down and getting ready for and charging for it again. So just make sure you do that as well too. Also guys, if you're interested in joining my coaching program, then just send me an email at howtrader@gmail.com. And then what we'll do, I'll actually then schedule a call with you. I'll send you a link to book a call with me. You can do it's a free call, and then we can talk to whether you're a good fit for my coaching program. My coaching program right now is actually closed, but if you do want to get access to it for the rest of this year, then just email me at howtrader@gmail.com, and we'll schedule a call for us to have a talk. Now, let's have a look at this here right now. So I want to firstly talk about what the big things about these markets and what the markets do and why it's so important as a trader, right? This is a trader here. Now remember, there's two different types of investments that there's two different types of approaches that we actually do in the markets, right? We have trading. Now, what is trading? Trading is more about, okay, looking at the patterns, studying the patterns, trading the patterns, having a win-loss ratio, knowing that you're going to have some losses in that win-loss ratio, et cetera, right? So we're going to have all that in our arsenal. Now, that's trading. Investing is like for me personally, which is like what? GDXJ. GDXJ is an investment opportunity. What is that? That is like I'm buying it with the view of a 5 to 10 year view, not a, well, if the market drops the next 3 weeks, I'm going to freak out for you. No, put your knickers in a knot. It's okay. That type of view for me, as an example, looking at the GDXJ, is that I see by 2030, I see extraordinary quality moves happening in the GDXJ. Now, when I say 2030, what do I mean? What do I actually mean by 2030? I mean that sometime from now through to then, 2030, I see extraordinary quality moves happening in the GDXJ. I don't know when. It could be 2024, 2027, 28, 26. I don't know. All I do know is, guess what? My investments in that, as well as looking at the good old gold market as well too. So I've got investments in gold as well too. I see big extraordinary quality moves in both these markets here. I just don't know when, and I'm not worried about, oh, the market went down 10% today. Oh, you got it wrong, so on and so forth. No, all right. That is the completely wrong thing when it comes to your investments in the markets. My investment in the markets, say such as gold, is I see possibly $5,000 to $10,000 gold by the end of this decade. But to get to even 5,000 on gold, guess what? That's going to take some time for that to unfold. 6 months, 12 months, couple of years, right? That's what's going to happen with that there. So that's an investment opportunities, right? So that's investments there. That's something that I think a lot of people are not focusing on. For me personally, I've been trading the markets for 19 years, and that was the biggest thing out there. The biggest thing out there for me was that I wasn't actually focusing on the long term as well too. I was just focusing on short term, which is trading the markets. Now, let's actually go back to trading mentality. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up for you right now is, guess what? Because the trading mentality in the markets is a different approach, different thinking, different level of analysis, different level of thinking, different level of approaching than to an investment. Investment is buy, hold for many years, right? Because you see the cycles, you see situations, and so on and so forth. But trading mentality is what? Understanding the markets, looking at the cycles, looking at the markets, and so on and so forth, right? So if we have a look at, say, the SPY right now, what are we trying to do, right? We're always looking at the markets from a perspective of looking at the highs and looking at the lows to see what's actually going on with these markets. So if I look at the S&P 500 right now, let's actually open this up. If I look at the S&P 500 right now, what do we have here, right? We have a high, a lower high, a lower high, and a lower high, and we're right at that lower high right now, right? So nothing has actually changed. Yes, we've had this higher low, and things are starting to pick up, and things do look like they may be getting ready for another big move, another upward move, but we're not in that upward trend yet. right? So as a trader, what we're always doing, we're always trying to analyze what is actually going on with the actual markets that we're actually trading. And by analyzing the major highs and major lows, you'll be able to get an idea or an understanding of what is actually going on with that market. So if I look at the S&P 500 here as an example, I can see we have a high, then we have a higher high, then we have a lower low, we have a lower low, and a higher low. So if I'm looking at this here right now, and I'm saying, who's in control of this market right now? The answer is nobody. Nobody is in control right now on this market. Now, if you're looking at the weekly chart, the big major trend is what? Down in the markets, right? So the most important part is whenever I'm trading the markets, whenever I'm trading any stock, my first rule is I need to have someone clearly in control. What does that mean? I need to have a clear trend. I need to have a clear upward trend or a clear downward trend for me to be trading. Whenever we start to get this type of action, there's no one clearly in control. But guess what? As this thing unfolds, there's going to be someone clearly in control real soon as the weeks and months click on. And then when we do start to get someone clearly in control, we're going to start to see big moves out of the markets, right? So that's the first thing I must say is that if you're trying to jump in on markets where there's no one in control, you're going to get a lot of volatility, just like we're getting right now, right? Lots of volatility, up and down, up and down, up and down. And with that volatility, you're going to get chewed up. That's the reason for me, guys, once again, I trade the markets, I trade individual stocks, but I'm always looking for my rule number one is I'm looking for someone clearing. I'm looking for a clear upward trend. So I've got a high probability of jumping in on that trend. We all know this. We all know the saying, right? The trend is your friend until the end. So that whole trend is your friend until the end. Guess what? You are analyzing. You're getting involved with the markets because you want to have a high probability of success, right? So where's the best success? With the trend. But if there is no trend, where's the probability of success? There is no probability of success, right? We need to be jumping in on some sort of a trend. And right now, looking at the S&P 500 as an example, guess what? There's actually no one clearly in control. So that's the reason why it's been very, 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 very volatile and very hard to predict what's going on because there is no one clearly in control, right? We could actually form a double top here and come back down here again. We just don't know. So that's what I'm looking at through there. But if we use the exact same sort of analysis, say things, for example, on say like the Dow Jones, right? Because look at this, look at the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones has done what? The Dow Jones has now made a double top through here, then it made a lower high, and now it's potentially making another lower high. We have a higher low and a higher low. We're getting this squeezing up pattern. See this squeezing up pattern through here? So this squeezing up pattern is going to break out. And wherever we do break out, now the thing is, this just because it's, oh, John, it's a bullish pattern that's going to break to the upside. Maybe, maybe not, right? We don't know. What happens if we get this, right? What happens if we get something like that? Or we're probably going to get something. What if we get something like that? Well, then guess what? This whole squeezing up pattern is probably then going to send it to the downside, and we're probably going to see some more downside that come out of this one. So that is still the potential, right? Remember, the market can fake you out. Just because we start to get this movement and we start to get a move back to the upside, this is what the market can do sometimes, especially in the conditions we are in right now. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about here when it comes to the markets and say, for example, Nasdaq and looking at the Nasdaq and looking at gold, right? Nasdaq and Bitcoin. So look at this back here, right? Look at this back here. So notice how we actually had what? We had a move down. So we had a move down overall on Bitcoin. And look at this here. We made a bit of a double top. And then we went for a bit of a rally, didn't we? Notice how we actually went for a bit of a rally, but it actually broke these highs. Look at this here. It went for a bit of a rally, didn't it? When it actually broke high. And again, you'll be able to see exactly why I'm actually bringing this up right now, because we're seeing this is also something happening to, and my alarm's going off right now. It is 5:30 a.m. in the morning. I was up at 3:30 this morning, and my alarm simply says, today is going to be an amazing day. There we go. Let's go. So we actually have a move to the upside, right? But that could be a fake out. And this is the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is because we could be getting something like this setting up over the next few weeks. And if we do start to get this false breakout, look what happened. It broke above the resistance. And look at this here. Once we actually broke back below it, then guess what? We started to get a cascading effect there. This is so critical, because this rally right now could be an absolute representation of what's happening with the good old Nasdaq. Let's go have a look at the good old Nasdaq right now as we speak. So let's go have a look at the good old NQ and look what's happening here, right? We're starting to get this. Look at this here. So we've had what? We've had an overall move down, and again, it's not the exact same, but getting something similar, right? Look at this here. Came up, had a bit of a move. We may be getting what? We may be getting a move to the upside. Now, what is the key here? The key here is this. See that resistance level there? So what happens? What happens if the market does this? Right? Let's do this here. Actually, let's actually bring on some trend lines. The trending lines. That's right, the trending lines. So remember I said before, let's actually go back to Bitcoin. So just get a bit of a refresher here, right? We've got our Bitcoin. Remember back here, right? I'm trying to bring you back to the patterns that these markets does sometimes and how we can be getting ready for us to see what the market could be producing for us. So look at this here. Came down, went sideways for a while, then broke back above. But look at this here. As soon as we did what did we do? Right, as soon as we actually broke above this resistance, but then we broke back down past that support, we're saying what? This whole level through here is indeed a false breakout to the upside. And then guess what? Now we're probably likely to see the move back down, which we ultimately did. And again, if we now we see that, now let's go back to the good old Nasdaq once again. And look what we're getting right now, the same sort of thing, right? Move down, and we had a bit of a double top, double bottom going on, and we're breaking up. So the key for me, I'm watching right now in looking at this market is this a false breakout or not? Because if it is, guess what? We're probably likely to get something really similar to the good old Bitcoin. Now, remember, what did we get with the good old Bitcoin? We got that, and then the market started going like this. And then once we get something like that, and then we get a break back down, guess what? That's a false breakout. And now, guess what? We're probably likely to start to see something like that in the market. So this is the whole false breakout scenario that we need to be keeping an eye out for.